Hello everybody, it's Nick, Rational Gamers. Apparently you did like the idea of a Q&A, so yeah, here we go. The first question is from Rhino Shark 007, asking how useful is the guide? About as useful as your friend who leaves a door open and lets all the stray dogs in to eat your food. Jackson Leach asks, did you make up for lore? I made up the Legends lore, but not the official Terraria lore, no. I'm not 100% sure of their process on doing that, but my own fanfiction-y lore is basically just me talking nonsense for endless years. Gamercore asks, what's your favourite of the four classes to play as? I would probably have to say the Mage, because I like magic, I like shooting things with magic, and I like the way you can mix and match and do a variety of things you can't really do with other characters. Although the easiest one is probably melee, because in the end you end up getting melee weapons that can shoot stuff anyway, so. Dr. John Zoidberg MD, nice to see you Zoidberg. What are your plans for the future of the channel? I don't think you could have asked a question that has more scope. Immediate plans for the channel are simply to keep making lore stores, artifacts, handbooks. I mean, while the channel is probably seen as a Terraria channel, I do like to branch out and do other stuff because I can get a little bit burnt out on just Terraria, and I have ideas about other games that I want to kind of go out and explore. But more in the long term, I'm still working around making the Tavern. If you saw that trailer like from a year ago, I'm still working on that, and the increase in sprite work in the lore stores are kind of part and parcel of that because I'm kind of learning how to better animate for that project. Plus I actually need to write scripts and hopefully get voice actors maybe. Further down the line, I want to start working on my other channels as well, Rational Readers, Rational Watchers, and maybe even RG Plays, just play some Let's Plays. But mainly I want to end up narrating my own fiction books I've written onto my Rational Readers channel and kind of have Rational Gamers and Rational Readers working in tandem. And so you've got the kind of lore stores and game-based writing and fiction on Rational Gamers and my own original fiction on Rational Readers. Whether I'll be able to pull that off or not is a completely different story because as you probably know, I've got a full-time job, I have a toddler to look after, and the lore stores just take so much of my time to make, and I don't really want to just phone them in. I want to make them as good as I can, so I kind of end up putting all my energy into that, and I have no time to make any other videos, so it's kind of like a catch-22 a little bit, if that's even what catch-22 means. Anyway, moving on, Dragon Oath asks, do you think that most of the lore on this channel for Terraria connects to the official lore, and if so, how so? The easy answer is no. I really don't. I never intended. Well, I started writing the lore on this channel before the official lore even come out. So it was basically when the official lore came out, I asked everyone, do you want me to carry on? And a lot of people said yeah, and they seem to still like the lore, so I kind of do it as a tandem thing. I kind of think of it like, that's why I've called it Terraria Legends. I think of it kind of like the official Star Wars canon and the Star Wars Legends continuity. They both are a thing, they're not connected in any way, but you just watch what you like. But no, my own continuity has drifted away from the official lore so much now that it's impossible to reconcile them. But I've been playing around with the idea of writing a kind of like a secondary lore store series that actually does theory stories based around the actual lore itself. So hopefully that's something I'll get around to at some point. Red Dead Redemption 2 Tips and Tricks, a game I haven't actually played but I would really like to. They ask, when did you start playing Terraria? It wasn't immediately after it came out, but it wasn't too long. It was about a year or so after it came out, because I had my eye on it for like basically since it came out. But at the time I was very poor. I mean, I'm not rolling in money now, but I literally I just come out of university and I had no money to my name, so I couldn't even afford the like if I give it like £10 that it was at the time. So I waited for it to go on sale on Steam, you know, back when the Steam sales were incredibly good. And I feel like I owe Relogic some money because I've got way more worth out of it than what I actually paid for it. Legends of the Fantasyverse, that's an interesting name. Will he go over small stuff like why the Pinky is stronger and has different gel compared to the other slimes? Probably at some point if I run out of topics. I mean, a topic kind of has to strike me. I've tried to force topics before, like I've decided, okay, I'm going to write a topic on this, and the videos have kind of come out subpar, in my own opinion. But other times I just have an idea about a certain aspect of the game and I write a story for it and I'm thinking like, yeah, no, I'm happy with that. So it kind of really has to hit me if I want to talk about that at that time. So yeah, if I start thinking thinking about the pinky or anything else small, then yeah, we'll probably be a video on it. Ashterboy asks, are you going to have some videos about modded Terraria items for your artifact videos? I would love to. I did have a plan. I was going to work up to doing the Terrorblade, like all the swords that make up the Terrorblade, and then I was going to branch out to like modded items. And I know I could just start doing modded items at any point, but I kind of wanted to get to that point, and then they released the Zenith. So it kind of that kind of become, okay, I'll do all the swords in the Zenith. I think it's pretty much so I don't get distracted with modded stuff and I forget to actually finish off one of the main items in the game. But yeah, once I've done all the items in the Zenith and the Zenith itself, then hopefully I'll start branching out to do more stuff. Pixels asks, do you have any hobbies other than gaming? Boy, do I. I have too many hobbies. I kind of jump between hobbies like it's nobody's business. Less so now, obviously, because I have a kid. But in the past, I have done things like I've made my own card games based on TV properties, so I couldn't get made into an official game because, you know, copyright and everything. But it's fun to do as a kind of graphic design exercise. I've also tried my hand at making stuff like props and stuff with EVA foam. For instance, I made an Infinity Gauntlet. I made a working portal gun. Working as in it has lights. I'm still halfway through building a Iron Man helmet as well as a sword cleaver from Bloodborne, and it is now my ambition to construct a lightsaber with fully working motion sounds and effects and lights, and that's probably really ambitious, and I've worked out it's going to cost me about 100 quid, but there's no doubt it would be really, really cool. My main hobbies other than gaming, I would probably say, are writing outside of for the channel and just reading. I don't do quite as much reading as I would like to. I've got stacks of books. I've got bookcases full of books that I just would adore to read. I find I get too absorbed into reading, and that's the only thing I do, to the detriment of all other things. And I also feel guilty, like, oh, I should be writing for the channel, I should be writing my own books. So as a result of that, I end up going ages without reading, even though I'd love to, but yeah. Leo Villads, did I say that right? They ask, have you played Crazy Frog Racer? Crazy Frog, that's a name I've not heard in a mighty long time. I went to high school when the Crazy Frog craze was at its height. All you'd hear constantly from everyone was ding 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 na, 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 or however the hell it goes, and it is so annoying, and I think I have PTSD because of it. So no, I haven't played Crazy Frog Racer. I never intend to, and I'm not even going to look it up, because no. Nathan B asks, can you show us some memes? Sure. That probably took up most of the editing for this video. Lord Forful asks, which Terraria lore video is your favourite? Oh, that's asking a question. It's difficult to say because over time my writing style has improved and kind of the continuity has been tightened up, or my own continuity has been tightened up. But I would probably say the Solar War video, and that's simply because it's so pivotal in the Legends timeline that kind of everything springs from it. I kind of find it as a watershed moment where one kind of race of beings dies off and is replaced by an entirely different race of beings, and it kind of shifts the dynamic of the world that I've built up so much to the extent that it allows way for the cosmic beings to come in and destroy everything. I just find that moment in my continuity as a very important moment. So yeah, I'd probably say that was my favourite. Literally Worthless, I severely doubt that. They ask, when's your birthday? It is the 28th of September. So if you want to get me a birthday present, that's great. Little Moth asks, what inspired you to start making lore? Terraria lore specifically, and where did the lore ideas come from? Again, this is another question that will make me go on a tirade about writing and fiction for an hour, so I'll try and keep it brief. Whenever I played games as I was growing up, I always kind of had these ideas of what if this happened in it, and mainly it came from a kind of just a what if scenario, but other times it came from a place of I don't like the story to this game, this is how you can make it better. And I find that sandbox games like Terraria, they have such rich kind of characters and world building and everything, but no, or at least when I started playing Terraria, there's no actual story to go with it. So it kind of made my head go bonkers with possibilities about, oh, what's the background of this world, what's its history? That's when I started thinking about it mainly, but it wasn't until I kind of come up with an idea of who the guide was really, that it kind of popped off, and I started opening the floodgates and getting loads of more ideas. But a lot of the actual ideas I get, I mean, they're kind of inspired by some other literature. I mean, there are some videos I've actually made that are specifically references or homages to certain literature. For instance, the Martians episode is a clear giveaway. That one's obviously War of the Worlds, and that's just because I wanted to make a War of the Worlds scenario in Terraria. But other times I kind of just try to think what would make sense in my own head, and sometimes it doesn't really make sense. Sometimes I have to like push the boundaries of believability, but other times I just have to lie down in a dark room with my eyes closed and just think, just let my mind drift, just like think, okay, Okra, what is he? How does he fit in? Why is he so weird? And then ideas start popping into my head, and it's my job to kind of piece them together in a way that makes sense. Terabyne Animations asks, do you see yourself doing a Terraria playthrough in the future? I've actually done a bit of a playthrough already. It is on the RG Plays channel at the moment, you know, that Dead Plays. But I have been thinking for the past like year or so about trying to stream, and I would like to stream the special seeds for Terraria, you know, like the honey world and for the worthy and everything. But again, I'm challenged by time constraints. I'm not really able to do it at the moment, but hopefully in the future I will work something out, and I can stream maybe once a week or something. I know it wouldn't be like a regular thing. I did actually used to do the Saturday night streams. That was years ago now, and they were some good fun. I'd love to do something like it again, but like I say, we're just gonna have to wait and see. Dr. Bright asks, dogs or cats? That's a more complicated question than it seems. I know I put on one of those algorithm mining polls previously with just cats or dogs, but for me, I used to love dogs, and then because I used to have dogs, and then we adopted some cats when I was young, and now I love cats. Garrett Allen asks, what is the game that you have the fondest memory of playing as a kid? Ooh, see. So many. Believe it or not, my favourite game is not actually Terraria. It's obviously Terraria, it's one of my favourite games. My favourite game is actually Half-Life, but that's not the one I'd say most fondly from as a kid. I used to play, back in the day, a lot of Wipeout on the PC, in DOS. That was a lot of fun. But I would have to actually go for Jazz Jackrabbit 2. I remember going to my mum when I was really young saying, Mum, can I play Jazz Jackrabbit? And I just played the game over and over and over again. I think probably because of that, it's the game I've played most. And yeah, I haven't played it in years, so. My High X, is that right? They ask, what made you come up with your name? Another interesting question, because it wasn't just me. When the channel started, it was myself and my friend Marty who started the channel, and we started it as a whole different beast. It was it had an accompanying website to it where he'd write like gaming articles and reviews and everything, and the channel was supposed to be just a complimentary thing, just because I mainly wanted to make a YouTube channel inspired by Turtle Biscuit and Jesse Cox. That's why some of my earlier videos are things like I've not played or I used to play, because I was kind of going for the WTF is vibe, but in no way could I live up to Total Biscuit. And then it kind of drifted into just like the generic Let's Play channel, and Marty had his own responsibilities that he had to deal with, and I ended up just taking over the channel just by myself. The webcast as well. We used to do the Rational webcast. That was good fun. That I miss doing that. Every Saturday would sit down. I just talked nonsense for an hour. One time we were watching a stream of Shia LaBeouf doing some weird artistic placement thing where you could potentially phone him and talk to him, and Marty phones up and he gets a hold of one of the other people who's doing it, unfortunately, because he went to the toilet when we phoned, and Marty asks us some completely nonsensical question about teleportation and the implications on the existential reality and stuff like that. And she just hangs up on it. It was the greatest. It is on the channel, buried in the archive somewhere. If you want to go and sit down, it was amazing. If you want us to do something like that again, you feel free. Please say you do, because I had so much fun doing that, and hopefully I can get Marty back on board. So, what was the question? What made us come up with the name? It was mainly because we were getting to our late 20s and we considered ourselves a couple of irrational gentlemen, and it was supposed to be, no, not really, but it was supposed to be kind of like a a channel for higher brow gaming. That went out the window pretty damn fast. But now I kind of see it. I kind of feel it's an oxymoron now, like Irrational Gamer. That's why my Twitter name is Irrational Nick. Please follow Twitter/Irrational Gamers. So yeah, rather than change it when I started doing stuff that was completely unrelated to just sensible reviews and breakdowns of video games and stuff, I kept it as kind of a joke. But no, that's what we named the channel, and that's Arve Techie. But I like the name, it's good. And finally, the Statistically Improbable Twat. That's an absolutely fantastic name if I've ever heard one. He asks, or she asks, or they ask, how tall are you? I am 5'10" 3/4. I'm really kind of trying to hang on to that 3/4. So yeah, that was the Q&A. If you have any more questions that you would like to ask, feel free to leave them below, leave them in any of the videos, and if there are enough and there's interest for it, then I could do another one a couple of months down the line. But this was mainly just a dipping my toes back into the water after I've been off dealing with some other stuff for so long, and I just want to thank you for sticking around. I mean, some people have said this channel's dead, and that. If it is dead, then that's my own damn fault, because I've not been posting videos, I'm not been engaging or anything, but it's still growing. I mean, I'm not getting as many views as I have previously, but I'm still going on, and I'm still enjoying making videos when I can. So I'm just grateful for everyone who sticks around and enjoys the videos. If you do enjoy the videos and you're not already subscribed, then please feel free to do that, as well as liking, sharing, all that other lovely jazz. And yeah, just hope you have a great day. See ya.